Check. All right, so let's do it up, everybody. Can I get confirmation on my mic? And I think we should be good.
Guys? I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. So we had some tech issues. My computer stopped working when I was trying to, use the computer. So besides that, we're all good. Thank you guys for being so patient. Let's the introductions. I'm here with my co-host Hax Dogma. We are going to be talking about Westworld Season 3 episode guest and our behavioral tech expert, that if you guys have anything in the chat that you want given out to us, you want to have explored, you want to, get in on the discourse, talk to my man Johnny. So first off, introduce yourself, Hax, and then we will go to our much esteemed guest who will either give a rose to Westworld tonight in cover content, and she did not agree to any of this. So, or she will not. So I'm doing it bachelor style. So, let's start with Gray, actually. Let's go ahead and start with her since I put her on the spot. I want to get that rose ceremony out of the way.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to just go ahead and just say I'm going to give it a rose.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
I'm going to give it a rose. I really liked it. It felt like a different show.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Honestly.
Great. It's nice. It's so nice to be on with you. Like, both of us grew up in Baltimore a little bit, and it's nice to hear someone with your accents and just like immediately recognize it. And I'm like, dude, we would 100% be.
That's right.
Connect culturally
We're
on your own time.
We're supposed to be talking about Marshall Yanda.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Shut up.
Hax is from
He's
Texas.
So mean.
Hax is from Texas in Baltimore. Doesn't sound like that to me, but whatever. All right, Hax, tell everybody about yourself. Spy.
Yep. My name is Hax Dogma. I run a channel on YouTube called Hax Dogma, doing Westworld content. Pretty much any other show that I really care to cover, or has hit me on some kind of level that I really want to talk about. And I like talking about TV shows with people, and that's why I'm here.
Awesome. No, all jokes and bad humor and stress besides. I'm really happy to have you. And Johnny, tell everybody where they can find you, and then go ahead and give us the tech specs there on this episode.
Yes, you can find me at House of the Conqueror. I'm Johnny B. Crazy, and we won't tell you what state I'm from because it's just nothing to really brag about. Let's get into the specs, everyone. Tonight's episode has a runtime of 68 minutes and is the 21st installment of the series. Parce Domine was written and directed by Jonathan Nolan. The title comes from the Roman Catholic Lenten hymn of the same name that was derived from Joel 2:17 out of the Holy Bible. Parce meaning spare and Domine meaning Lord. Repent your sins and ask for forgiveness from thy judge and avenger.
Amen to that, dude. Preach that gospel. So, all right, and we'll get into that name a little bit later. Thank you so much, Johnny. And we'll dive deep into it. Hex, you want to start us off here? You want to start at the beginning here and kind of like walk us through this, take us through a slow Sunday stroll?
At the beginning, at conception, at Dolores naked in a swimming pool coming up and murdering, I guess.
Not a bad way to start.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was, I don't know. The whole tone of that first scene was just so ominous, so powerful. She knew that she was the shit and was just like, fuck this guy. I'm going to do all of this. And then I'm going to go swim in his pool. And then, before I essentially torture him to death. And I loved it. I love the start of this episode.
I don't know why I didn't just right away know that she was going to be going after people that had, dealt with her in the park. Like, that didn't come across my mind, which it makes so much sense because they're people that have power, people of means, dirt balls. But like, I thought that was a real nice touch, because obviously they got it coming. And it was cool how the technology, and this is a theme that's ongoing, is overarching, but the technology definitely is screwing them, right? We see the advanced Google glasses, and it's the technology betraying them that they become so dependent on. Gray, how did you like this very, I'd say it's a sexy and a very exciting entrance for this third season. I enjoyed it.
I really liked it. My first thought was, Like, you remember that? I don't know if you ever watched this movie on the Disney Channel, The Smart House,
Oh
with
my
the
god, yeah.
lady.
Oh my
Where-
god, yeah. Nightmare
where the
fuel.
where the house just starts going crazy. Then I was like, their Alexa just really went crazy, and it's like one of those, like, so my husband, he hates Alexa, he hates
Yeah.
her, and he always unplugs her, and now I see why, because she
Yeah,
can be crazy. But I really liked it.
we have dogs that we have to kennel throughout the day, and we always put on classical music for pets, and it like calms them down and kind of makes it so that it can't hear noises outside, so they don't start barking and stuff like that. And if it wasn't for that, there's no way that I would have a government robot spy in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexa. Yeah, don't listen to them. I love my fucking Alexa. I don't care. I'll take it, dude. Complete.
She's gonna turn your fucking fireplace on and be swimming in your pool.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Listen, if Alexa kills me, she just walked in front of a lot of people in that line. I'll tell you that. So,
If you start getting like pieces of a 3D printer shipped to your house and it's not you, turn it off. Like, she's trying to build her own body. You need to be careful.
no, she's open. She's overtly rude to
Yeah,
me.
you do.
She's like constant. When I'm doing my videos, she's like you could have spoken better. She's like, that edit is choppy. Yeah, she does a whole bunch of shit. I don't like it. Johnny, what do we got going on in the chat? Is there? Am I just being too optimistic here, or was there a super chat?
No, well, we had a super chat earlier from Donnell Peoples. Also, a couple of comments here. The showrunner said this season would be more straightforward. Looking at that, I believe the first season was structured from Dolores' perspective, running through the maze. The second from Bernard's fractured psyche, restructuring his memories. The third from Caleb's human perspective. I like that, Donnell.
Yeah,
I like that.
and that's our super chat right there. Wow, that's like a really good insight, and you help the channel. Thank you so much. Westworld is one of the only times that I actually get ad rev for my channel, so that means a lot. And no, honestly, that really, really helps. So we appreciate it, guys.
Well, let me give you this real quick, Justin. This was the actual super chat. It was Justin, you called the episodes layout in Robert's stream. Here's to a great post-show discussion.
Oh, there we go. So there we go. A little something for Justin.
The prophet.
Aw, that's nice. Every once in a while. All right. Well, let's go ruin any
Proud
of
of you,
that.
buddy.
Whatever, dude. So all right. So okay, more straightforward. Let's go around the table. First off, Johnny, what more straightforward? Yes or no? So far.
Pretty straightforward. There's a lot of information to untangle in the first episode. I feel like I'm going to find even more when I go back, but I'm really digging it. It seems to be a linear storyline so far, but we'll see where that goes.
All right.
I'm sure they'll throw a wrench in there.
Yeah, and there's definitely they've mentioned a few dates already. I forget what exactly they were, but it was like last time Bernard spoke to Dolores, it was 9 years, I think. And so it's like they're throwing out this information and these dates, and it's like whenever I hear those, I'm like, my ears always perk up. I'm like, okay, this is somehow important. This relates to something else later on that's going to be notable. So it's like, I definitely think it's much more straightforward. Yeah, it may have been 90 days. But I don't know. There's something here. I can feel that there's like something extra going on, but I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we got no more pearls, and we had seen no pearls revealed. Gray, how are you feeling about the how copacetic was this opener for you?
A couple things were a little confusing for me. Do you want to talk about like the confusing things?
Yeah, like how'd you feel? They're
something So I felt a little confused about Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of confused about her because I thought that Dolores was her.
Oh, from last season.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of.
I really think like
it's still possible technically. I don't believe that's the case, but yeah, it's still possible.
Like the way that was so in the opening scene, like the way that Dolores like I don't know, dissolved and then appeared again. I'm thinking like she's kind of hacking into like some kind of network, and she still is Charlotte Hale, but she has like this not real person, but the person that got shot up was looking real. So I don't know.
Well, that's what because my computer is messing up. So I'm talking to these fine gentlemen. I use that very liberally. And I'm like, did she just teleport? You know, because I had to go back and watch that it was the glasses that, you know, he was wearing. He was using glasses that were utilizing artificial intelligence. I would assume, you know, since it's a television show, we can just explain it away with the mesh network. She hacked into it. Oh. So yeah, though, because I was like, what the hell? Like, because that right there, I was like, whoa, like now it's magic in this show. Like that's getting crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think it was the glasses.
Yeah, so I think it was the glasses. So, I mean, obviously, I think Black Mirror vibes all over the place, right? Like, I mean, like,
oh, definitely.
But that's good. I mean, I'm a huge Black Mirror fan, but I think that they still have managed to make it their own because I think they're sticking to the themes. We do notice right away that we have a board meeting with old Charlotte, and we don't get, and I do predict people, we won't know who that is, and that'll be the hottest topic for people on Reddit to be talking about is who is Charlotte Hale, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's a guy named Steve. You'd never met him. Yeah, that's who it is.
You didn't see the preview?
Yes,
it's Teddy.
It's Steve.
But we got another super chat really quick. Atheist Bear. Okay. And this ties right in. Dolores uses Charlotte's body for whatever she needs. Just guessing.
That's a fair guess.
I missed you so much, Atheist Bear. I missed you so much. It's been so long. He's such a good guy. Well, you know, we have like Gray was saying, it could have been because it was Char Loris at the end of season 2. And Hex, our tech expert, I think you would agree, or I'm hoping you do, because I kind of already said it, that you could easily replicate, right, a pearl. Like, I mean, it would be like copying a drive per se.
I mean, like if you can, she's recreating Bernard from memory, right? Yeah. So like, there's nothing's off the table at this point. I legitimately feel that at some point they're going to use this trope of like, maybe not even a trope, but like just the idea that because of that you could have theoretically infinite of one or infinite of multiple. So like all of it, you know. Fuck it, just everybody's Dolores this season. You know, that's not impossible, but yeah.
The only thing that really holds me back from wanting that to be something that comes to fruition is how do we benefit narratively off of a bunch of Doloreses? But then I think about the other side, and like I said in the pre-show, okay, we don't have that many hosts on the table that we have had characterized, meaning we understand their emotional spine as a character. Because it's like, how do you know somebody is somebody like okay, characterize Clementine to me, Hacks. Like, I mean, what, like I would say like shy for her profession, I guess, but like it's really hard like to really get down her like characteristics. And if somebody's going to be played by a different actor, but you're supposed to believe they're a character that you got to know, you gotta have you know, like little whatever you'd call it, not twerks, I keep wanting to say twerks or twitches, but that's completely the wrong word, but you know, like characteristics that you're known for. Little somebody say a word that makes sense there. I
can throw another super chat at you from Louise Brooks.
Just throw money at you. There you go.
It could be a time jump. Hell scenes where Dolores before she moved back to the original body.
I love that.
Thinking a little bit.
Ticks was what I was looking for. Ticks.
Ticks.
Yeah,
it's definitely possible. I mean, you know, think about even before Bernard was built, like some time had to have gone by in which, you know, because she leaves the park, she's in Hale's body. She then has to do something to get alone in Arnold's house and then build her own body and then have somebody in that body that would then take her pearl out.
This is why we love the
after show. I don't know.
This is why we love the after show. I told him about this last night because he's so analytical and all this. He will try to, like, his video is going to be perfect on Wednesday or Thursday, but he's going to try to think this out on air, and he does it almost every time, and I love it because you just tried to go step by step there. It didn't work out. You'll have to rewatch.
It's the Socratic method. We need to all figure it out together.
No, dude, that's not. We all got our thing to do. I'm not doing that.
Wait, you guys have stuff to do after this?
What's that?
I'm just kidding. I said, you guys have stuff to do after this?
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I have to watch it again.
Yeah, I had to watch it. So I missed the end credits. Can somebody fill me in live?
Oh yes,
yeah.
I did. I missed it too.
Well, that is no problem. It was essentially Maeve. It was her waking up in a World War II garb and looking fresh to death, and has a gun in her hand, and then she basically realizes she's still in the park, which means I'm assuming like she has no line of dialogue in that scene. But I think from her mannerisms, from the way she analyzes the scene, I think that she is very much still conscious and still the Maeve that can wake herself up, kind of thing. But she is again now in War World.
Yeah, but okay, I thought.
I'm so sad I miss her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
I
good.
thought
Sorry.
you said something about Teddy because I did see that. I thought somebody told me it was that just bullshit, Johnny?
Wait, which was bullshit?
Did you?
I don't know. I got lost in the chat.
Yeah, all right. Because no, I saw that. I thought
Sorry.
there was a reveal about Charlotte that I missed.
Oh yeah. So Maeve or someone's talking to Charlotte, saying that is that you in there, Teddy? Which I hope to God it's not Teddy. OTDA thinks it's Dolores' father, I believe.
Peter.
Teddy is the promo for episode 2. Oh. Yeah, I didn't see the promo for the next episode.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get it up on screen if I can avoid the copyright strike. In quirks, thank you. 10 minutes later, we're at the correct word. Yes, quirks is what we're looking for. But realistically, we've got Clementine on the table. We got Angela. I mean, to be honest, it's hard to really like pick up on those like quirks and to really convey it. Like Teddy is somebody that I feel Charlotte could channel. It's just because she just needs to be vastly different than Charlotte, which is just advantageous for everybody. But I don't know. Okay, how do we think Aaron Paul did? Start with Gray.
Who?
Aaron Paul, Jesse, Caleb.
Oh. Okay. So I really liked him. I really liked his story. So his story to me seems like a William kind of story. Not really. So I got the vibe that he doesn't really trust artificial intelligence. And I also got the vibe that he's like a wounded warrior that like has some kind of PTSD going on because he lost his friend. But he like, I don't know. I liked him. But it just seems like when he's on the phone, he's kind of like, are you a real person? And then when he's talking to his friend in the earpiece, he's kind of like, you're not real. You wouldn't say that if you were real. So I feel like he has and Dolores is probably going to change that for him.
Yeah, he's gonna find
like
reality.
For William.
Yes, find something real where it's supposedly, according to like contemporary knowledge, something that is not in fact what we would consider to be a human or deserving of personhood or sapienhood, sentience, all the catchphrases. But what I'm liking is he definitely is depicting his PTSD. Correct? I'm not sure what type of war he was in. Did it look like he was in civilian clothing when he was he had his firearm? Am I wrong on that? It looked like
but he said something interesting like you'd never had to live in this world. So what world is he in?
Yeah, what changed? Is it just it's drastically changed since the war? Is that what he means? Like, oh, you didn't have to live in, like the post-recession.
Yeah, I definitely got that because I think there was someone said something that kind of made it seem like while they were in the military, this strategy planning, and I think it's interesting because like when they were talking on the phone, they said this strategy planning didn't have anything for you at this time, and so it's like the strategy planning is like the new HR department for the world, right? Like everyone has an HR department. Entirely speculation, but yeah, it's like I got the feel. One, Aaron Paul, amazing actor. Yes. Oh my God, I posted on Twitter this table read that he did in which he was reading for Breaking Bad, and he was fully in it. He was weeping when his character was like coming to terms with what's happening. It was so good. It was some of the best acting I've ever seen. Just like instantly created.
I mean, okay, is my mic better, guys? We got a message that my mic was a little low, so
Oh yes, that's
let me
fine.
know if that's better. I agree. I mean, Aaron Paul, he is able to make a very vulnerable, very sometimes. Okay, let's just use Jesse as a character study. Look at how much of a scumbag Jesse was at the beginning and how much of a loser you viewed him as. And then he went from that to the
Yeah.
person you're rooting for to a guy that can handle himself. So that's very advantageous for this part because he's not a weak guy, but he has weaknesses because he's a human being. So he can make you feel for him. You want him to do well. You're worried about him. It's that rare like limbo stage between action hero and character actor. And I think he was wonderful in it. They did say in the chat that yes, it looked like he was wearing civilian clothing with a military jacket. That's kind of the vibe I got as well. It does seem like artificial intelligence was a large part of the warfare.
Yeah.
There's a line of dialogue. Does anybody recall exactly, or doesn't need to be verbatim?
No, I'm not sure if someone does interrupt me, but I think it builds this. Like, I think all of that accumulates to this idea that he despises, this technology in some kind of sense. And Gray touched on this a bit with, when he was talking to that automated system, and it comes to the point where it's like, be real with me. Are you a machine right now? And and then he answers like a machine. Like that interaction could happen right now, and to us, and we hate it equally. Like at least I do. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Have you ever had somebody call you and you think that it's a automated voice, and then you realize after being a dick that it's a person, but they're just so yeah. I've had it happen like twice. I was like, oh my god, you're a real person. They're like, yes. I was like, I'm sorry about that. I said some weird stuff. Huh?
She asked to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe to people.
Yeah, that whole thing, dude, that is what I'm so curious about, because it does build this picture that this guy Francis is a great friend of his, and he died, and then like he has this mental health treatment, right, that is somehow taken his memories or a profile of Francis and created this service that calls you and allows you to talk to your dead friend as a sort of catharsis or therapy. I don't think that would actually be a healthy way to cope. Like, we don't have that in our world right now, and I imagine it may be nice to hear your lost one's voice again, but to have conversations in depth with with dead people seems a far stretch in terms of treating PTSD on losing a friend.
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, there was an episode.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No. Gray, you are the special guest, and this allows you to do a lot of shit. Like, honestly, you can run roughshod over this.
Go ham.
There was an episode of Black Mirror where the girl's husband died, and then they replicated him artificially, and it didn't end well for her either. Like,
I forgot all about that.
She eventually got creeped out.
Black Mirror never ends well, though. But yeah, it's because I talked about it in my last video, and I found this to actually be something that I personally experienced, a post-traumatic growth. There is something to be said, and this Westworld specifically uses post-traumatic growth as a bootstrap to consciousness. It's all through the pain, and there is something to be said for when you do have hardships in your life. I went through a period of time, a big life transition that got me back into writing, back into fandom, back into doing this type of thing for whatever it's worth. But just living a better life, and you learn because you get so low sometimes that then if you can build yourself back up, it really can. It's like a renaissance and enlightenment of sorts. And I do truly believe that, but also it's like there's only so much people can take. So like, it would be nice to hear these voices, right? Because this voice is, we have to just think it's the same technology, right, that they use to try to do the the James Delos experiment. So they're looking for fidelity, but the big issue with that is kind of the body dysmorphia. Like, they don't accept the host body. So you could keep the consciousness on a computer, and it would still speak with a decent amount of legitimacy to how that person would have spoke if it's created by somebody that knew them. But yeah, that's just, it's it doesn't help you. I don't know, maybe that's not great to dodge death. I think that's been a theme throughout this show, that like trying to avoid death is never ends well. And that's kind of a weird thing to say because it's like, what do you mean? So it's like, because I guess death is the worst ending, but I don't know. It seems like James Delos got worse than that. So,
Well, we got another super chat from Louise Brooks.
Hey.
Her bet is it's the VA program. They monitored and copied them for future support. But if we remember as well, everyone has to take these nanotechnology things that monitor their body here that we've seen and has control over everyone. So I would think they're reading people's minds at that point too, or copying their cognitive function.
Yeah.
So. And people are talking about the helmets they're wearing as well, so we can't forget that the hats.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's an old trick that they've been playing now pretty hard for the helmet. So first off, again, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much that helps, and I'm with you on it. And the nanotech is interesting. I want to get into that with you in a moment, Hex. But I agree. I mean, it's kind of Watchmen-esque as well with calling like Dr. Manhattan. But do you guys think they're recording these conversations because they're checking, like, number one, they're just getting insights into their soldiers? Like after World War I, they would always go and interview the soldiers, and they'd want them to take, and they still do this, and they want them to take tests and talk about their feelings. And it was the soldiers back then would be known to say they don't really care about us, they just want us to fight better next time. So they're trying to figure out what our psyche's like what we're stressing about the most. Like, it's like, maybe not to help. And I'm not, this is something I've seen in stories. This is something I've read about, with documentaries and stuff like that, or biographies. So it's like, I don't know. I didn't fight in World War I or any war. But yeah, it does make sense that, the government might go that route. So are you getting a hint of that, Hacks? A little bit of shadiness here? It's not necessarily to help them, but to help society?
I tell you, if the VA exists and is running this, it is definitely not to help people. It is definitely not to help the soldiers. As much as I said they'll say it is, it very much exists as a way to, better soldiers, better, the end goal, right? Strategy planning, as it is, definitely.
Yeah. Gray, what do you think about this form of therapy? If your old pal Justin dies, do you want to get a digital Justin that can talk about television shows and so forth?
Sure.
I don't think she wants it.
Digital everyone.
Denied.
Digital everyone.
Oh, now I don't feel special. No, I'd rather have no. Go ahead.
Okay. You can be the only one. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dead. So just lie.
Justin,
so
I
agree with that idea. I agree with the idea that it could be a program, and like you said, they're trying to gain insight, and then there's a company named Insight.
Mm-hmm.
So they might not be related. Maybe they are. Maybe that's where, like, that machine, that robot, the Robolum.
Oh, thank God you were the first person to try to say it, because I didn't want to be. Oh my God.
Rehoblium.
Rahobocop.
Johnny, don't do that, because I'm going to start messing it up. Rehobian? Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Justin, say Akichita.
Akichita.
That thing has to get. Well, I'm glad you said that first. I just called him, but that thing has to get insight from somewhere. Maybe it's getting it from the people that are interacting with these programs, because it's predicting what possible things could happen and strategies to respond to it. So if you got this guy that's like losing it with his deceased friend that's AI now, and you have a bunch of people like that, you could potentially predict, like, these people are gonna, like, eventually uprise against us.
Yeah, because they're gonna be airing their issues and their qualms. So yeah, it seems a little archaic in this age for them to do wiretapping, but also the you know what I mean? Like, but also I'm not going against it, because it's what Westworld was. Westworld, the hosts were the constant. So the constant is your dead war buddy, unfortunately. And you know, the variable is the soldier that is talking to them. So they're, you know, airing their grievances. They're going throughout what they're worried about. Over at Roboblocks, we find out that there's a big old machine. Hacks, we're gonna give this to you, Mr. Tech Spec, and figure out what the hell that's all about, because they don't know. They're like, yeah, that thing thinks we think. Maybe.
It is the Matrix.
My dad made
I'm
it.
kidding.
My dad owns a dealership.
Yeah, so essentially the vibe that I got from this, right, is, you know, this guy, you know, the son of this incredible builder who wanted to, you know, to make all humans. If man, I forget the line, but he says, if we can make all humans, it's not this. It's not, if we can make all humans do what we want, then the world would be a better place. But it's something along those lines, and that's ultimately the end goal, or the you know, the ends anyway. And you know, when Project Solomon was first introduced in the trailers, I really thought it was going to be this project of insight that just was built to make them money. You know, was the ultimate corporation to end all corporations, and it may still be that, right? That may have also, you know, come from this. But watching this first episode, I got this feeling or understanding that it wasn't something that they were doing in secret. It was something that, you know, they put out to the world, and you know, he is so famous because he has essentially solved all humanity. I made a note here that Liam Dempsey, whose father created the strategy engine that saved the future. And that doesn't exactly show that this corporation made this just for their own personal goals, right? Mm-hmm. Like, again, not saying that they're not benefiting hugely. I imagine that this guy who is, you know, the father who's, you know, masked Wizard of Oz, right, is definitely going to be pulling some strings that we're morally challenged with. But
it's possible to do good when evil. I like what you said about doing it out in the open, because
so I definitely, you know, it's more people.
What's that?
Oh, you're good. You're breaking up there.
Oh, sorry about that. What you said about transparency, or you said about doing things out in the open. Has anybody realized that ever since the beginning of this series, where they have nothing but glass, you know, walls for like this, like, you know, all the Delos techs are working, like Maeve's walking through the floor she's not supposed to be on. Everything is like transparent. And even in this episode, and I want to know in the chat if you guys were impressed with the outside world, because I personally was. I thought it looked beautiful. But you notice Dolores is on the helicopter. The door is just like that foam, but it's like clear again. It's like this ongoing trope of this transparency. And I think it's like it's just smart. It's like, yo, yeah, I'm going to do some shady shit, and I'm going to do it like with clear glass walls all around me, because everybody's like, well, there's no way that guy would be doing shady shit in there. He's letting us all see. So it's like, it's just, you know, evil in plain sight, you know, hiding in plain sight. It's just, I mean, I know a lot of tropes or futuristic stuff, like, you know, like the sterile, like white clothing in rooms, but really we get a lot of just glass and transparent doorways, walls, you know, screens and so forth. I find that to be an ongoing thing that they're playing with, and it's just like they're not hiding it, right? Like it's out in the open. But James Gallagher Jr., I loved him from The Newsroom. He was also in a Green Day video. He's the one that plays Liam. He was the mark for Dolores, evidently, right? Mm-hmm. And now his dad owned a dealership. No, that's my bad joke. But no, his dad made the thing, the big brain. I'll have to rewatch and get the correct name, but they don't seem to understand how it works. But it's collecting data, and it's doing predictive. It's predictive technology. So it is taking what's happened before, because the best judgment of what's going to happen is prior actions, and it's taking it in and it's putting it into algorithms which make parameters, and we see Caleb dealing with these parameters, right? He can't get a legitimate job. So what does he do? With a flip of a switch, he goes onto Rico. Rico is usually when you try like multiple criminals, because you can connect them through whatever finances, blah, blah, blah. You can make it a Rico case. So I don't know, like it's a very overtly evil thing out in the open. But they also have points for that. and I spoke to you guys briefly before we went on air, but I found that a little weird. It's like, is that just out there? Like, is that also like your credit score? Like, you didn't like bash enough guys' kneecaps this week, Justin, so your score is like a -2. Like, what is this the same system we're working in?
Yeah, so I think I think this idea is that like there's an app, right? You just go on it and you are peer reviewed for the success rates, like something like an Uber rating for how well you do a job, and that score defines you and allows you to get more jobs or less. If you go under a 4-point rating, then you're out. You're not driving me anymore. But yeah, what I find super interesting about this whole thing is that they have such a trust in this machine and this application to just flip it on and understand that this in a world where insight exists and strategy planning is across all corporations, that they have enough integral faith in this app to not to just do crime so openly and not worry about getting caught. But I think that's super interesting.
I love how you said "in a world" because it reminds me, in a world, we're inside.
In a world,
yeah. Where it was 1999. Go ahead, John.
Well, if you notice that all the jobs were for rich and influential people.
Yes.
So it seems like somehow they get a free pass from this. And to segue, we got another super chat from Donnell Peoples. Thank you so much. I got Serious Vicky from iRobot Vibes from the Insight System, and Dolores might have to find another conscious AI.
Ooh. Who's seen Vicky here?
Yeah, I remember. She was a cube at the end of it. Big, giant, floating cube.
Gray, are you familiar with this cube?
Not familiar.
The end of iRobot? I forget what she looked like. Maybe it wasn't that at all.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that. So do you mean that she's seemingly without any emotion? Is that do you think that's what you're getting at there? Because
I'm sorry.
I felt she was a little dead inside, but I mean that's kind of been Dolores.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Vicky, if I remember correctly, was just the system that was pulling all the strings at the end of iRobot. And I forget the exact purpose. I think it was essentially just maybe robot freedom, but maybe I'm getting that confused with Westworld itself. But yeah, great movie. I just haven't watched it in such a long time.
Yeah, I'm looking into it right now. And when I'm doing that, and thank you so much. And again, like, this is live because we just watched it and we want to talk it over with you guys and then make hopefully what will turn into fantastic videos after. And if you missed it earlier, Gray on air live gave a rose to Westworld. Gray will now be covering Westworld every video. She said she might even do 2 for every episode. I was like, that's very ambitious. So looking forward to that.
Oh
no, go ahead, man.
So Gray, I got a question for you. Caleb has turned his system off, seemingly, or at least a lot of it. He has it shut down. How do you feel about this world with them being able to know everything you do? And yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you asked me that because when you guys were just talking, I wanted to say something. So the world, I feel like it's almost another park.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's the real world. It's humans, but it's almost like another park. So there's like these society issues that Westworld likes to like bring in, kind of like tropey kind of things, like rich versus poor, humans versus robots, whatever. But if somebody is watching everything you do, if you're using the amount of technology that you're using, how you could still be controlled. You could be a human and be controlled. Like the whole, like there's a whole like review and like review products and stuff, like YouTube genre, where you watch people review products or they show you what they bought, and then you're compelled to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
Advertising, you're compelled to go get it. So who's to say that the humans in this real world aren't being compelled just like the artificial intelligent people were being, or the hosts were being controlled in Westworld. And I say that because Caleb said, I don't know if it was Caleb that said it or his friend, where he was like, remember, they rigged the game. They rigged the game to ensure that they win. So who is they that they're talking about? And then I don't know what the fuck that thing's called. The rumblum, blah, blah, the big circle with the red lights.
Yeah.
If that thing can predict every strategy, every outcome for years and years to come, then it knew that there was going to be a rebellion in the park. It knew the hosts were going to rebel. It knew that they would eventually come into the real world. And maybe it's another fucking sport for the rich people to watch the hosts and the humans eventually go to some kind of war.
Oh shit!
Some gladiators. Well,
and they're controlling all that shit.
Oh snap!
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Yeah, because you can only pay one half of the poor to kill the other half. But like that is, you say hell yeah to that idea that I'm proposing? Yeah,
of course.
That is fucking awesome, dude.
That's the dystopian future 101, man. That's the greatest. Yeah, I think and with this idea of simulation, that's always possible, right? And this, the father, we get the name Sirac as the guy who controls the system, and yeah, like with simulation stories. It's so hard to really storytell because the whole thing is built around this idea that one party knows everything that could theoretically happen, and then one party who is trying to overturn them. And how do they get around that, right? How do you beat someone who could be omniscient, who could with enough time or resources or something, know every move that you're going to make? And I really look forward to how they're going to solve that, because with this guy Sirac, I think that. Yeah, I mean, it really, because there's a line about it. Hey, if you were going to say this name, if I was going to tell you who his name is, then we would already be dead. Just showing how much power he has, and I love that. I love all simulation.
If they're collecting as much information as we think they are, death to all of humanity doesn't really matter if they want to do the host immortality thing. Really quick before we lose it, go ahead, Hax. I see you about to.
No. I know. Wait, I've been trying to say something on my own show for like 5 minutes now. No, it's definitely, to Gray's first point, we're dealing with exactly what Westworld deals with, and that is there isn't a big difference between us and the host. Arguably, there's no difference whatsoever. We're conditioned in society, right, Gray? Just as they are pre-programmed, it is arguable that we are pre-programmed as well. There's, libertarian determinism, which is, the idea that everything that happens to us, all we can do is react. Thus, your life is already just a shape. You can color it however you want, meaning you can, be happy or sad. Your emotion is all you can control. So it is, I think, what this season's doing, and I said this in the pre-show, I was hoping they did exactly what they did and gave us that opening sequence of Caleb waking up just like Dolores, just like Maeve, going through your day. And, there's a system, like this predictive technology has put a system in the play, and you can always game a system. And I think what we're going to see is something called garbage in, garbage out. When you're dealing with algorithms, they collect information. They must collect the correct information in order to be efficient. The way to beat a super omniscient being, as Hax is alluding to, is you feed it garbage, because it will be garbage out. So you compromise information. The hosts are surrogates for information in the park. They're still surrogates. So this is artificial intelligence fucking with artificial intelligence. So it's a little bit of an edge. So it's like, it's aware of human behavior. Is it aware of the artificial being's behavior? So its reliance on this data collection could be the same way in which it hurts the humans. Meaning everybody is complacent because everything becomes easier, right? Like, okay, if you
Yeah.
get a chip in your
Yeah.
head tomorrow that you can learn calculus, you're gonna sure as hell do that. First off, I'm gonna want to know what calculus even is. You know, that'll be cool to find out. And then I know what it is. But then, like, you know, you're gonna do it. But here's the thing: everybody's gonna get chips, and they're gonna get these this nanotech that's already existing that they're going to be able to put in cells that can identify HIV, cancer. These are real things that are happening. But here's the problem with all of this tech. What if the power goes out? You got a bunch of drooling fools in 50 years that didn't learn anything because it's not fiscally advantageous. It's not likely to happen because it's not realistic. Ain't nobody going to school. You go get your chip. You got a kid? You got to take Dum Dum to the freaking computer chip store, get Dum Dum his chip, and he's not dumb anymore until something malfunctions. So the over-reliance on technology, just like we see in the opening scene with his stupid glasses, kills him. And also his lusty, vengeful ways, his violent delights. Johnny, you can go ahead. I wanted to say
we
stuff.
got 2 super chats here. Oh, yeah, it's okay. I love it when you yell at me, Justin. Atheist Bear, Dolores and Charlotte in bed together. 2 trailers now. Maeve says, is that you and their Teddy? To Charlotte in the post-credit trailer. Sorry for hitting my mic. Safe to assume Charlotte is a vessel for Dolores's needs. Also, we got one more super chat from Louise Brooks. Louise Brooks. What if Dolores finds out the real world is run by AI?
I think she already has.
Yeah.
Kind of has.
Yeah, I think that's like coming into the story. That's kind of where we're starting off at. Is that she knows she's looking for this person and who built this. She manipulates Liam, becomes this love interest, and it doesn't work out. She realizes that he's fucking nobody, and has to come to who the real Ford of the real world is, right?
That was kind of harsh, Liam. But go ahead.
Yeah,
He's
really
nobody.
makes me think like he's a fucking figurehead, dude. Just like I don't know. It makes me also think like, man, I really wish that Ford was still in this story to see like him versus this, potentially omniscient figure that is kind of running the world behind the scenes kind of thing. But real quick, yes, this is the child back here. This was painted by my lovely wife, who's in the chat, Am's life. So let her know that you like it. But it's fun stuff.
Take a note that he was selling art on the stream, Johnny. All right. No, honestly, I do love that picture. Yeah. Yeah. I think that what we're dealing with here is the same stuff we've been dealing with, but in a different medium. We are now in the real world. And it does seem, and I'd like to get your input on this, Gray, how much faith do people have in this predictive technology when Charlotte Hale is pitching to Delos to restart the park because, like, they're being reasonable. They're like, yo, that went really bad. Like, so we can't do it. And she's like, no. And they said, you're depending on an algorithm to make this business decision. I found that to be, I don't know. I got to rewatch because I find that to be problematic because it's like, this is this all knowing being, but also then this board's like, I don't know, man. That's the only questioning of the algorithm that we see.
It is problematic. First of all, we're all YouTubers here. How many times has the YouTube algorithm given you a false yellow icon?
Is there a video
when you didn't do anything wrong?
Wait, you guys have green icons? I'm just kidding. Yeah, every single video, every single one, man, it is mind-boggling.
Yeah, no,
and you did nothing wrong. So yeah, I don't think I can't fathom opening a park back up when you just went through the shit that you just went through.
God, no. Yeah.
Especially because, and I brought this up earlier, I felt you guys don't get it. It is so much worse that the man in black was in the park killing other, like, okay, they're like, well, where's the guy that runs this? Right? That fucker's just running around in the park doing crazy shit. Like, that's so much worse. Like, imagine if Bob Iger, like Disneyland gets all Westworld. Bob Iger's in there just like looking for some meaning in his life and killing people. Like, where's Bob? He's still in the park. Like, nobody's even looking for him. Like, that's a mess.
Send his daughter to go get him.
Yeah, and then, where's his daughter? Oh, he killed her because he thought it was a game. They're like, oh,
they've somehow made Bernard Lowe the scapegoat in all of this. If they could do that, man, dude, William's fine. Like, he's probably like, it makes me think that because I thought that they were going to scapegoat him because he was in the park, but I think that he's probably, his mental health is probably going to take a major analytical front and center discussion, like if he's suitable to lead anything anymore. But yeah, I don't think he's taking the fall for anything.
Now, okay, who do you think pushed the blame on Bernard? Was it Dolores? She's like, I'm going to do you a favor and make you alive. Also, I told everybody you're responsible for that.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be. Because I think, oh my God, because why wouldn't she put it on William? Like, the only reason that she would not put it on William to make him rot for this is if she needed William. So the whole world needs to look at Bernard low while maybe she does something with William. And, kind of leads to that other thing that I believe may happen is that, William becomes aligned with Dolores in this season.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
He's due for a redemption arc.
He is due for a redemption arc, but I don't buy Dolores, blaming it on Bernard, because like that's not advantageous for her, I don't think.
I mean,
it's just I'm
trying to think of like who knew that Bernard even existed at the park. Like, did Ford go to all the lengths to make sure that he was a human outside of the world? Like, what we learned in season 2 is, or season 1 and season 2, that he is very much Ford's project. Like, how far did he go to put him in the Delos company? Because, assuming he would need to do that in some degree, I yield. But I don't know. It seems like this was a foreign factor that Dolores could easily shape, and however she wanted, because he was such an unknown at the company.
Well, yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Is it's an easy scapegoat because it's a dude that's not there anymore, and it's a dude that's got a high title. So I don't think that it has to necessarily be like this vindictive action from a character that we're actually even gonna get like the info on. Like, I think it's just like that's corporate life right there. It's like, who's not here? Who can we claim we got rid of that you, because you got to fire somebody that's important enough? And they're like, Bernard, he ain't here now. Yeah. So
the head of programming, right? That allowed the reveries to happen.
Yeah,
I could definitely see it.
Yeah,
So we got a super. Oh shit, my bad.
No. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Oh, we got a super chat from Donnell Peoples. Thank you so much, Donnell. And I want to. This is mainly a statement of what he thinks. Dolores is trying to keep Westworld functional to keep host production up to repopulate the world with her kind. What do you think about that, Gray?
Yeah, I think that she wants the park to open back up or she wants the host to be remade because she says that she's the last of her kind, even though we know that's not true. But yeah, I think she can't fight this battle on her own.
Well, yeah, because it's like her Eden and her hell, right? Like it is, but they do have some machines because she's making hosts. They don't procreate like we do. It's much more dry.
How do you know that, Justin?
Because I dated a host.
She said she said something about gods. So she's like, I'm a god in this world. Oh. Basically, it's what she's saying, and she's like, the real gods are coming, and they're pissed off talking about other hosts.
Yeah, she's got. I mean, yeah. Unless there's another something that comes after hosts or something, I doubt. But I think she's very much talking about herself and the wave of consciousness to artificial intelligence that she's bringing. Yeah, I love, man. Oh God, it was so good. It was just so good. It was such a power move, man. I am a god. You stand no chance. You can't even look at me right now. You crawl on the ground beneath my feet. Like, it is so good, dude.
No, try it,
Who do you think the guy was? Who do you think the guy was at the end in the car? That was like a clone of the other guy.
Oh, I don't know, man. I kept looking at or like listening to how they were speaking. I was just waiting for them to say anything to see if I could figure it out, but I don't know.
I'm wondering if it's William.
Ooh.
That would be pretty wild.
there's obviously
Yeah.
dissent
William.
within the corporations, all of them, right? Like, not everybody's being straight up with people at Insight, at Roadblocks, or whatever the hell it's called. We'll learn it by next week. Like, it seems nobody's completely, it's not copacetic. But I did want to speak on the gods thing because I find it fascinating in evolution to go that way, because it's like everybody wonders where all the gods are. It's like the gods, like, are responsible for creating the thing that kills them. You know what I mean? Like, we will create AI. AI will eventually go past us and kill off us. That's the gods are all dead. And we were created by some lesser thing, and we killed them because everybody's inherently evil. I don't know. I kind of like that thesis.
Zeus killed Kronos, eh?
Yeah, dude, it happens. Like what'd you say on the other day? I mean, you were
Got it.
talking.
Oh, just as Zeus killed Kronos. Sorry.
Yeah, technological. It's not biological anymore. And it's the dependence on the technology. We can't stop. Like, we know it's so. We have like this mass media. Like, this is a show that has a lot of money funded to it. Black Mirror is funded. People are writing essays, books. There are people doing nothing but studies about the effects of artificial intelligence. It is so clear it is not a smart thing for us to do. But guess what? Alexa's pretty tight. Guess what? Like, not having to learn shit's pretty tight. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, part of me agrees, right? If we can learn math ourselves, right? Great. We don't need a calculator, but if we could install a calculator, then great. We don't need to learn math. Then, it's like, and that works perfectly 100% of the time, assuming that the power doesn't shut off, as you said before. But, the power shutting off, like, should we not innovate because the threat of something exists? Like, should the internet not exist because it threatened to turn off, cable or the newspaper or anything like that? Like, and I think that it's a natural progression.
But not all
to
progress
essentially go for these things that are larger than life.
Like, yes, like the medium of, let's say going from the telegraph to, like, then newspaper, then radio, blah blah blah, then you got TV. Like, that's like, you can see a pretty linear path, which is odd. But it's like, I would argue that accessibility doesn't trump capability, and you're getting capabilities because they're accessible. You're not earning them, so you're not becoming a more capable being. You're becoming a being that has more capabilities accessible to you, meaning easier to get. I don't think that's progress. I think that's a sweet deal, and I take it all day long, every day. I'm not saying I'm the good one. I'm buying. I love you, Alexa.
Yeah, but would you say that you're less capable because you have access to the internet?
No. I wouldn't say that at all. But I would definitely say that you'd be less capable if you start to get one of those nano chips that they're designing. For sure, because every time you have a crutch. Think about it. If you have to wake up every day and take a medication. If you've ever had to take I take a medication every day that you have to take, and then that becomes a thing where you have to remind yourself, I have to go to the doctor and get a prescription because now I need this. It's just a dependency. It's not good. It's not advantageous. It's best to walk on your own 2 feet.
So I think that innovation, the technology space, it's always fascinated me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the question is, when is it too much or too far?
Yeah.
Like what they're doing. I don't like when I Google something that I get an ad for it on Facebook. I feel like I'm being monitored. I don't want to feel like I'm being monitored.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I don't need a Tesla. I don't need a car to drive for me, because I feel like the more advanced we get in technology, the stupider we become. Not stupider, but the more we depend on it. So whereas like you used to have to teach yourself or learn how to read a map, you don't have to do that anymore. So a lot of people don't know how to do that. Like when I was in school, you had to learn cursive. You don't have to do that anymore. So I don't know. I just feel like there's nothing wrong with technology, but I don't think you should depend on it. I still think you should independently learn things and not, I'm not going to learn. Like, imagine 20 years from now, people aren't even going to know how to drive a car because their car is going to probably drive for them. And if something happens and the system goes offline, they're not going to know what the hell they're doing. I'm just going to ride past them and beep because they're going to be stranded.
That's true. That's true. But it's like in iRobot, right? Like, that comes to mind. But like Will Smith was able to do anything because he had a gasoline powered motorcycle. And everyone else ran off electricity. It's like, yes, it's good that he had that, right? It came in the 1 in a trillion chance, scenario that his story would ever happen. But if the other, billions of people that existed at the time didn't create the electricity and didn't, build these things that I admit are crutches, right? Self-driving cars included. Like, if the other people didn't do that, then we would still be less of an advanced society, I think. And it's like, I don't know, man. I have such a positive outlook on artificial intelligence that, like, I think so many stories exist that are very much the worst case scenario, showing exactly how bad they could be. But if we could just give ourselves to artificial intelligence, if we could just create it and then it take care of us for millennium, then fuck it, dude, let's do it. I mean, like,
that's exactly
allow them to take care of us, and assuming that they still believe that they need us, and that's the real risk here, then everything works fine.
Tricking them. It's like dating a girl that's like above your grade. Like, like I've dealt with it. You got to keep tricking them. You know what I mean? But it's a dependency, and we've obviously shown that we cannot have restraint. We just want more and more. Yes, it would be good if we're like, okay, the internet's good, so we'll just use that responsibly. And also there's the have and have nots. It's called technology gap. It's a big issue. You have advanced societies that have tech, they have Wi-Fi everywhere, and then you've got freaking countries that are still third world, and they have nothing. So the gap, the have and have nots, only get worse, and I think that's what we're seeing in these episodes right here. And we're seeing people that not only are dealing with PTSD, but they're dealing with just the everyday workforce, and it becomes more and more competitive. And how do you assign value to skill sets if skill sets are just something that you can buy, meaning the value of your skill set is how much money you had to buy your skill set? You know what I mean? Usually you get a skill set, and that skill set gets you money because you earn it in a perfect world. So in this world, you have to get money to get skill sets. So who's going to get it? I'll just give you one guess. It's hobos. It's hobos. No, it's the rich people. So I think it's
I was
like, wait, I followed this until you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was the turn in my story. So yeah. Yeah.
Do you think Dolores could use this as a way to bring down or break up the social structure? Could this, if this technology gets destroyed, would it be the end of civilization as we know it, at least in the show?
Well, I guess that's a good question, because can civilization end for just humans and hosts can continue on? Because that's kind of like what it comes down to is like the hosts don't need what the humans need to evolve, and stay alive. So the hosts, their way of learning is different. It is not the way in which we consume information. Like the Chinese room experiment's a really interesting one, where people don't literally learn how to speak Chinese. It's just they figure out a coding system around the language, and so you would think, if you're on the other side of that door, that you're speaking to another native, like somebody at least speaks Chinese, but you're not. So it's like they consume different, so they don't need to live in the same environment in which we do, because they don't exist in the same way we do. So I don't know. I mean, I think that what they're getting at here is that she wants to take down the system that puts people in boxes, that puts people in corners and objectifies people, and she wants to give people choices. But I think the big problem here is you give human beings choices, they tend to make a lot of bad ones. I don't know. And it's predictive technology, so it's like you become too dependent on this thing, because it's like a false sense of security as well. I mean, you're in cybersecurity, right, Hax? Would it be better to have one person watching over your network, or 50 people? Because 50 people think everybody else has it done. One person knows that they're the one in charge. I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but it's too much security. Too much security is bad security, though. Because people just start to assume other people got it covered.
Yeah, I think what you refer to is like the most common the most exploitive part of any system is the user, right?
Yes.
So the more people in the system, the harder it is to lock down. But yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't know.
Okay, so how about the cool kids? It doesn't seem cool to be down with this AI. I think these rich yuppies and they are rebelling, right? Like they were calling the people at Delos dicks. They were laughing about them. Like I got the vibe that like the people in the clubs and the people that were like out there, like they're entitled little bastards, but they didn't seem to be buying into like grandma and grandpa's like artificial intelligence. I kind of got like a rebellious youth. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just my take on it, and they were just showing us more dickheads. But I had a big, juxtaposition between, let's say, like Gallagher, James Gallagher. What is his name? And Liam. Yeah, Liam, and then the people that were at that party with Liam. They were, talking down about the people at Delos. It seemed like it was a very it was taboo. It wasn't cool. It wasn't something they respected. I got a general sense of that from the common people, if you can call them that.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like all trust fund babies, right? And they were probably shitting on them because they just had 100+ people die at their park and mismanaged so gloriously the flow of information. Like it got out, everyone knows about it now, and they're kind of like the laughing stock.
Oh, so like their benefit would be like what you take from it. Their failure is others' failures is their benefit. It's like ha ha ha. Like Steve Jobs will have set Bill Gates or something like that. Back when he could, something like that. Yeah. There we go.
Got another super chat. Another super chat really quick from Donnell Peoples. Thanks again, Justin. I love a space to discuss things, and I love and like to think about it with other people that love it. Thank you so much, Donnell. Yeah. And Shade of the Evening has a pretty good question. She thinks Dolores is already accessing Rehoboam. I think I said that right. That she already somehow has access to it, but I think she's looking to get access more.
Well, the first the opening scene with the guy Jerry, he worked at Insight and he gave her a bunch of files that he had stolen. Like, why? That's another problem with technology, is that the people that own these companies, they can't keep the information safe. It always seems to leak out. It leaked out.
Because of hot chicks though is a big problem too. Don't be because it is that she was a hot chick and she screwed him over. So don't go ahead though, but don't act like they're not blameless.
No, I was just saying that she probably, I think like she's trying to find out this information. I feel like maybe she found out that Liam was, but Liam was the person she needed to like be her mark but like I feel like that should be easy accessible information that she wouldn't need records from the company.
Like she should be able to do it in a technological way. Like she shouldn't have to
Google. Like you could Google who is the CEO or who is the owner of this company. I know they have some kind of technology like that. Like she wouldn't need to go searching in records to find out.
You know what's interesting? It's like
that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a good point. But we also have no clue if Dolores knows what Google is.
She's read all their books, though.
Yeah, like how do you explain internet to a ghost?
You asked Jeeves first.
She was hacking. She's hacking people's houses. Yeah. She's stealing motorcycles. Like she's out in the world walking like a person. She knows. She was like, I've only been in this world for a little while, but I know I don't want to be in it without money. Like no one does. No one does.
Oh yeah, that is some. Thank you so much, because it was so I loved. I was hoping they were going to inject, because I was talking about this with you Hex a few weeks ago. Like that, the hosts don't need to eat. Like the hosts, like they live vastly different lives when you look at it. Like there's a lot of things we do that they don't need to do. Like, you know, some are advantageous, some aren't. But they totally don't need to survive in the same way we did. But we saw her get a loan, right? And we saw that be pushed through Redline artificial intelligence, where they're able to look through your information really quick. And you know, one of the biggest proponents that allows these technologies to get in the business is the workload, right? That people can't do the workload, so why not get a Redline program and have your books get done like this? You got to approve a mortgage, get it done with the artificial intelligence. But the bad thing is, like you said, the more and more technology, the Expanse does a good job of this. People are all identified with those those scanners that they have in them. So it's like, oh great, now we'll just do that. Well, guess what? Just get a different scanner. With deep fakes that we're dealing with now, it's like, what is video evidence now? Nothing. Like literally with somebody with no computer skills. Yeah, like you have a videotape of something. Like R. Kelly would be a free man and with no issues like these days if he would have pulled this nonsense. like he'd be like, yeah, that's doctored. Like, but it's like, no, like now, like everything, it's just like nothing means anything because we keep departing further and further. But then again, we can't say no. But she still needs money. She still needs access to these people, but these people seem to be quite weak as well, which I think does go along with, I think, the message that they're showing. I mean, do you really think that Liam was respected by Tommy Flanagan?
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
No,
I don't think he was.
No, I was going to, when you said these people seem to be weak, I was going to say, well, you know, Dolores, she has the advantage because she has books on all of them, so she kind of knows every move that they would potentially make, everything that they would potentially do. So I wasn't aware that the glasses made her like disappear and then reappear. I thought that she was gonna like give that guy a chance to leave, and knowing that to let her leave, knowing that he wasn't going to be, and then kill him. But I get the whole glasses thing.
Yeah, I think they wanted to really reinforce the whole the availability and the allure of technology is the downfall, because again, you know, it's candy. You can't keep your hands off it. You want it, but it's gonna kill you. You're gonna get the diabetes. And that one time you made some bad decisions at Westworld, which by the way, they tell you that you can do whatever you want, and then 10 years later, you know, that's bullshit. Because like, you think there's a clause? Because no, I know, I've read the terms and conditions I've had to do it a few times. It's really lame. But anyways, I know it's not in there. It's never like, oh yeah, these hosts might come and kill you one day for the shit you do. No, they're like, do your weird stuff, pal. Nothing's gonna come of it. And then 10 years later, you're at home with your wife, and then people come and give you what's coming to you. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
because it's like, would you? I don't think any of us would kill someone in the real world, but if we were given the chance to then go hunt, you know, people, or you know, play this game in which was you were hunting, you know, real people, I think I would definitely participate in that game, knowing that no one was actually getting hurt. It was just, you know, these things that could be rebuilt and put back together. So it's like, yeah, you know, and it's like, because they are robots. Like, I would definitely, you know, go and play Call of Duty in the real world if I possibly could.
Even though they feel pain, I'm very surprised you said that, because that's like, you know, you lose your humanity. They still feel what, because God didn't make them?
They're programmed to feel.
You're like, not
because they're programmed to feel.
Aren't you programmed to feel from your nerve endings?
Nope.
Why?
Nope. I don't know. Why would I be programmed to feel by my nerve endings?
Because your nerves send signals, or you get signals sent to your nerves when somebody strikes you with something. So I mean, it's all electronic, and then baby, if you're an atheist.
I feel like you're trying to make the claim that there is no difference between hosts and humans.
I am. I think that the only thing that stands between it
is. So you would go to this park, and what would you do?
Me? I wouldn't take part in it, sir.
You would
He
fucking
beat me.
have crumpets and tea in goddamn Westworld, $20,000 a day. You wouldn't kill one person just to kill one person.
You want to know what?
Bullshit,
I'd
dude.
pay $20,000 a day to save a life. That's what I would do. And I wouldn't be English. Don't be ridiculous. All right. Gray, you've met me. We've hung out in real life. I'm a pretty classy fella. I'm a classy fella.
Classy.
Yes, thank you.
Classy.
Yes.
He was drunk for like 2 hours, lost in stairs. We literally were supposed to catch an Uber. Me and Quinn were supposed to catch an Uber with him. We're outside, don't know where he went.
Staircase.
And then
penthouse, 38 floors.
He was locked in like a staircase.
That's impressive. Yeah, and I had a panel in the morning.
Better than a.
No, it's
Sounds
not.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it went good. It went good. Sometimes you get tricked by staircases. Yeah, the basement was open.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. No, it was an honest mistake. Man is always beat by stair. But yeah, I think that it's idea of that if they can feel pain and you kill them, like even if isn't it more sadistic that you program them to feel pain and then you gave it to them?
Okay, so we're playing a video game. People die in a video game. Are you sympathetic to the people in that virtual video game?
No, because they don't get shot. They don't have this pain. Nobody put a
But they're programmed to feel that.
No, they're not. They don't have like actual like senses in a game, not in a virtual game.
Okay, so we're fucking far in the future, and they are programmed to feel pain. Do you still play the video game or not?
No, I don't. Unless I don't like them. If I want to inflict pain on somebody, then I inflict pain on them. But I won't do it just for no reason. I'll find a reason though.
Just be a white hat.
No, but there's still gonna be
a fucking
dicks.
monster, dude?
Yes!
What's happening here?
That is like you love this show. Like it's really like the mission statement, dude. Like hey, it's fucked up if you go to this park and you don't treat these beings with humanity. By definition, you lose your own.
But you have to take into consideration that we know that they have feelings and we know that they are a little more than what somebody getting off a train feels like. I personally wouldn't go there and kill anyone unless they tried to kill me, because I would go there like to the bars and like talk to people and just wander around.
Get stuck
but
in a
I wouldn't but I wouldn't just go there and say I'm gonna kill people. Like I'd go on an adventure or something.
Yeah.
And if I had to, I would be okay killing somebody because I wouldn't think they were real or had feelings or anything.
Well, so Clarissa in the chat brings up a good point. It says, this guy sounds like someone who refuses to believe that AI could ever be sentient, right? And I'm sympathetic to that because it's basically you saying that you should never change in front of your dog, right? Because that dog could become sentient and speak English and then go tell everybody what you look like naked. That is what you're worried. You're living your life from the perspective of it could happen. Okay. And I would
living, but that metaphor is the dog is already sentient. The dog has feelings. You're acting like this is a hypothetical that these hosts feel feelings maybe. No, they feel, and they program them too, and it makes it more satisfying because why do you think it's cost so much money? Because it feels more real. The appeal is you get the hurt and harm. And what does it say when the only thing that stops you from harming something is either something that like, oh, well, a god made me. So like, we made them. Like it's people say, oh, what type of god would do this? We are those types of gods. When we say, oh, they let their creatures go through all that pain. Look, yes, you're saying I want to make things and then put them in pain. That's like the first thing we do. So I don't know, man. Like in the whole dog thing, I don't have one, but I would be modest around my dog as well. I'll just say.
Well, speaking of murder and pain, and I'll go to Gray first for this one. Joe Schwag asked earlier, did we talk about Action Bernard yet? Glad they found a way to make him badass instead of a nerd with glasses who covers his ears while the girl robots fight.
Yeah, he does not talk his issues out.
It reminded me of like workplace bullying and harassment. And you know how like he hits that button or something to like turn his badass on? It's like he went home and had that conversation with his mom, like in a virtual way, where your mom's like, if they hit you, you hit them the fuck back. And then he just turned into a badass. And I loved it. I loved it. And so he's like D'Angelo. I love it. And he's looking. Did he say who he was looking for when he got on that boat? He said he's trying to go to Westworld, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But
if
he said he was looking.
Oh, it's got to
for
be
a friend.
Maeve. It's got to be Maeve. I think Maeve or Stubbs.
Stubbs, yeah. I mean, those are the only
Yeah.
viable options. You know what I mean? I would say it's okay to kill the Nazis. Like, in that's generally why that war is depicted in movies, because that's like the given.
Why, Justin? They have the perception of feelings.
Well, here's the thing.
Are
Because
Nazis not people?
but here's the thing. I'm not saying people don't need to get killed. You know what I mean? I'm just saying you just shouldn't kill to kill. I won't ever argue against people.
Where's the
against
office
this shit.
camera?
So, I don't know, man. It's just a weird take. I think it'd be hard not to do, but I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised that's your take on it. But I'm not shaming you whatsoever, dude. Whatsoever.
How symbolic was it that Bernard worked in a slaughterhouse?
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he took a 360,
that.
like Gray said.
And-
Like, he don't think anymore. He fights it out. Like, he is, like, no nerd.
But did you see how gentle he was with that baby cow?
Yeah.
Or that cow?
Yeah,
Not the
little
baby
calf.
cow.
Yeah,
Because he's still a sweetheart deep down inside, but now he's got a beard and a shaved head, and he's kind of crazy too. So I'm liking it.
dude, I love the look. I love the look, man.
That's what happens too. You grow a beard, shave your head, you're a badass. But yeah. So Bernard's out on his own. We don't know like why he is, except for the whole exile, I guess, because of what happened at Delos. But it seems like he should still be a little bit involved, but he's on like a weird slaughterhouse journey. I don't get his move. It seems like an odd move for such a smart guy to like end up in like, butt fuck nowhere, like working at a slaughterhouse.
Well, he's on the lamb.
Yeah, literally with the lambs. Yeah, maybe he took it. Do you think he took that phrase like literally? He's like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta go to the lambs. So and I do it. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think that it definitely was flashy. It definitely looked good, and it still kept the same sentiment and the same ideas that some of us interpret differently, evidently. But no, it's Westworld. That is what's fascinating about Westworld in the psychology behind it, because like what Hax is talking about, all jokes aside, yeah, dude, like if a park is designed for that, that's gonna be really hard not to go there and do that, because we will play it like a game. But what happens when those people start going into the real world, and then it's like it's okay to kill them then but not now? It's problematic for us. So I think that artificial technology couldn't be it's like cigarettes. You can put the skull and crossbones all over them, it don't matter. Like, that does not hurt anything. You will still smoke. You know what I mean? Like, we cannot keep our hands out of the cookie jar. And, that is what it is. I ain't learning calculus. So, Johnny, any thoughts about the title or anything whatsoever?
Well, we got another super chat really quick first. As in from Donnell Peoples again. Thank you so much. As in bringing back Dolores, Bernard realized he needed someone that would do what he couldn't do. So he gave himself a Wyatt self-preservation mode. And this is what I wanted to get into, his split personality. So he has this button he pushes. I call it the ham button because he goes ham when he pushes it.
Nice.
Y'all's thoughts on that? Also, Justin, is it okay to kill a host Nazi?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. No, all Nazis you get to kill. They're fine. It's because
what if it became sentient and then was a farmer?
I don't know about that. No, you can kill Nazis, dude. It's cool. I mean, society says you can. So, it is what it is. What does it say about somebody? What does it say about us that we hinge if we're good people or not on if we act out our like desires. Like I managed not to do the bad shit that I really want to do. Like, and that's me. I'm talking for myself. I'm like, aren't I a good person? It's like, kind of no. It's like, why do you want to do bad things so bad? It's like
because we live a life not doing that every day.
Some of us
do. We literally, like, it's a video game. It's a video game. None of us really play League of Legends and then become fucking our avatars and murder the other avatars. We could go to a park and become the Jesse James of the time. And we would have no moral responsibility because it's a video game. Like, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's my argument. I don't know.
No, dude. Hey,
regardless of if it was Nazi, sentient, fucking anything. Like, I mean, well, not like if they were awake, if they were, realized and you did it maliciously, then at that point, knowing that you were, doing this to something that would remember and then be, detrimented for the rest of its life, then yeah, you're a bad person. But, you were taught from the beginning of this that they are just parts of your game. As such, you can fucking do whatever you want.
But can I run this hypothetical
No,
by
you're
you
not
really
conditioned
quick?
to. You're literally told in the terms of service. Think VR. Yeah, like think literally VR. You go in, you murder people in VR. It's only problematic if those people in VR then start remembering that you fucking killed them in the mission. Like,
so hypothetically, going by that logic, if I give you a numbing agent, an anesthesia, right, of some sort, and then I shoot you in your stomach and you don't feel it,
yeah,
are you cool with that? Now, here's the thing.
No, because I'll fucking wake up and remember that you shot me in the stomach.
And you're going to get amnesia, and you're not going to remember it. So that's cool, right?
No.
Why is that not cool?
Because
you want to know why?
What do you mean it's not cool? Because it happened. Because I am a conscious living being. Mm-hmm. That is you doing something malicious to a conscious living being, knowingly. All of those variables, knowing them. It is so far different from you doing that to Dolores, who again
feels the pain.
Is just a robot.
The reason I bring up the numbing agent is I can control if you feel pain or not. So
robots in a video game show blood. Do you think that robots in a video game have blood?
No, we're not talking about. We're talking about hosts in Westworld, dude. We're not talking about robots in a video game. We're talking about.
Yeah, there's a perfect allegory. Like, I don't. What do you mean?
Because they feel pain, but we don't care because we program that pain. So we dismiss it.
Gray, can you settle this?
It's more malicious.
I think we should just move on.
It's more malicious.
It's
so much more malicious that you program them to feel pain and then you gave it to them. It'd be better off if it was out of your hands.
It's not malicious because they feel like they're trying to reach consciousness. Arnold is was trying to reach this consciousness or whatever. They feel like you can only reach that through suffering. So you have to feel pain in order to reach that.
Also a good point.
But okay, yeah, I get that. I was talking about post-traumatic growth, and it's a real thing. But okay, let's not give a high five to the dickhead that's putting all the fucking people into PTSD. It's like, well, thank God for that roadside bomb. No, that's not something you say.
Well, at that point, they haven't figured out the maze.
I love it so much.
Okay, I'm just gonna end it right here.
I love debates like this.
But here's the thing:
we could talk about it as much as
it is not the
agency. I love it.
It's the agency that you're putting it on because it doesn't mean anything to you because somebody programmed the field pain. You don't care that they still feel pain. I would argue that if I told you that the only reason that it hurts when I shoot you, Hacks, is because I programmed you, you wouldn't be like, oh shit, I didn't know that. That's totally cool. I guess this pain was programmed by you.
If you go to a shooting range that has targets that squirt blood and then make an owl noise, do you shoot at them?
They don't feel. If you give it a nervous system, then no.
Okay, if you do all of that and give it a nervous system,
no, I'm not going to shoot people on ropes. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Dog. Well, a nervous system does not make a human, right? Like, is that what you're saying?
All I'm saying is, does feeling pain hurt?
Does feeling pain hurt?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it's
cool. I think in this apocalypse kind of situation that's coming up in Westworld, I think that the poor people will be just fine. And the only people that are going to be targeted and massively fucked up are the rich people that have visited Westworld, the people that have books on them.
Yeah. And that's the whole message of these people getting revenge on those people. And then that's a good catch for us freaking poor people. Finally.
I would like to see that. Like,
really quick, I got to go to Atheist Bear. This is towards you, Justin. A sentient farmer who was forced into Nazism against their will is innocent, of course.
Yeah. Well, and of course, that's a blanket statement as well. It's like what makes, you know what I mean? But no, all I'm saying is that it's just like if somebody feels something, they feel it. If you argue the validity of the agency, meaning like, oh, but it doesn't matter because they didn't get it in the same way I got it, and which you don't even know like why you are existing. So that's just, it is what it is. But I mean, obviously there's a desire to do it, and yeah, I think it would be hard for people to resist going to Westworld. All jokes, and I like debating too. Obviously, Hax knows that it'd be hard for me to go to Westworld and not hurt things, but I'm okay with making excuses for my behavior. So I mean, I would just, I'd forget about it. But yeah, I don't know. I think the message of the show is probably not a great behavioral trait to go and inflict pain on things that can get it. I mean, you rooted for Dolores when she was killing that dude, right? You were literally rooting for you to get killed. Like,
of
that's
course,
you.
I was rooting for Dolores to fucking slaughter everybody, bro. I don't give a shit. Like, Dolores was oppressed, and then she overcame that. Fuck everyone who oppressed her, right? But that's not the point. The point is, I'm not okay. My position is you can argue the validity of feeling, and it's only the sense of you knowing that person feels that it becomes a malicious, immoral act. But yeah.
You will
let's
agree,
drop
though,
it. Time out for now.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, but you would agree that it's a little bit messed up to just worry about and to just split hairs about how they were able to feel their misery. Be like, oh well, that misery wasn't achieved in the same way my misery would be. So it's like that doesn't matter. They're like, no, I got fucking shot and it hurts. It really, really hurts, and you did it to me. And now I'm gonna find you at your pool 10 years later, and there's gonna be people rooting for you to get killed. And you're a pretty good guy.
There's so many things. There's so many things that I want to add to that, but we
no, I get it.
We gotta move on.
Hey, the oppressors.
I found in this season, this episode, that like in season 2, Dolores, she was like insufferable for me. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I felt like she was doing a lot of things that were just cruel. Like, I get it, like, raise up against people that oppress you, but like she was doing things like to other hosts unnecessarily, like the shit that she did with Teddy. So I like that this episode she had specific targets, and they were people that had actually done things to her, because it brought some of that old, like, of course Dolores is badass, but it brought some of that. Like, she's just not going around. Like, she didn't kill the guy in Jerry in the beginning and then go kill his wife when she was like, who are you?
Yeah.
So, like, season 2, Dolores would have killed his wife.
I think so too. She's like, I got you, sis. Don't even stress it. Yeah. I saved you.
So
I just don't
Justin.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I just don't get it, because that guy is guilty of doing what you're saying is okay, but it's cool when he dies because he's a piece of shit. I don't get that logic. But yeah,
I feel like you're misinterpreting the words. Move on.
Yeah. So you asked me, Justin, about the episode title, Parce Domine, which is a hymn for Lent, and it's about when Jonah from the Bible went through the city of Nineveh, I believe, and he proclaimed that the city would be destroyed in 40 days.
That's not good.
So they started to repent. They wore sackcloths and repented.
Nice.
If you would like, I'm going to read the hymn really quick, and I think y'all are going to have a lot of reactions to it.
Go ahead.
Spare, O Lord, spare your people. Do not be angry with us forever. Let us turn back, the angry avenger. Let us lament before the judge. Let us cry aloud as suppliants. Falling prostrate, let us all say, refrain. By our evils we have offended. Your clemency, O God, pour out upon us from above. Your indulgence unto remission, refrain. Giving us an acceptable time, grant that by rivers of tears, the victim, our heart, may be cleansed, that our joy may enkindle our charity. Hear, O good seasoner, our prayers through weeping in the most sacred fast, made firm by these 40 days.
So who do you think?
Y'all think about that.
Who do you think is begging for forgiveness? The hosts or the people?
Humanity.
The people. Dolores said she's the god, and more gods are coming.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So I definitely think she's the one that wants them to repent.
Yeah, I mean, she's not giving them a real chance to do it, but yeah, no, she's definitely they need to be begging for that mercy. But we've got a society in which that's an interesting concept too, because would we think, Hacks, that religion is a big thing in this world?
Probably not. I mean, religion across the board has gone down drastically over the years, and I think that we will definitely reach the point in which it doesn't exist, and maybe even be a fanatical thing that people mock. But yeah, 30 years in the future, I definitely think that I can't think of anything except for her being a god in this scenario.
If you look at religion throughout history, no matter what religion, it's another mechanism of control. Like King Henry VIII, he rewrote things, changed wording and things to fit his political agenda.
Well, he wanted to get divorced too. I mean, so sometimes
Yeah,
you just
so
gotta
it's
get
like-
divorced.
But it's just throughout history, in every kind of religion, things have been altered as a means to control populations.
I mean, but the people in which, and I'm not very religious. I was an altar boy as a child, so like I respect the process. But yeah, I mean, the people that are a part of the institution aren't necessarily the pure depiction of it. So but it's obviously it's something that is advantageous to somebody that wants to control. So it's like it's something that people can use, but also like deep down we all like think we're special because of some spiritual belief. So it's kind of like we're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. But we'll start to close it up here in a minute. Let's hit on Hax's tech savviness. Hax, how impressed are you with this new introduction of because this was the Forge last year, right? Like we had the Forge, we had all this. Like, so what's your take on this tech for that? We don't know much yet. We'll learn how to pronounce the name by tomorrow. But what's your take on it? Are you happy with this new toy that you got to work with for videos?
Yeah, very much so. And again, this whole simulation theory is such a fun thing. And yeah, like I love characters that are beyond reproach and are seem impossible to beat. Especially now that like all stories have been told. Like it's just it feels like it's going to be an uphill battle for the writers to work with this villain who potentially knows exactly every move you're going to make. And I'm really excited about how they're going to overcome that. But I also theorize that because host consciousness is definitely not something that they anticipated. There's no way that they programmed, their algorithm to consider what host brains think like. That may be the big way that they are able to beat this thing.
Yeah, like kind of that garbage in, garbage out type of deal, because it's not, especially when they have the capability to possibly access it. Do you think that since we dealt with sentience, sapience, and the evolution of consciousness, and being self-aware in these and autonomous beings in the first two seasons, that this predictive technology is kind of a step down narratively, as far as because usually you'd probably think the opposite way around, right?
Not at all. I think that I'm surprised that it exists because it's
relevant.
Yeah, I mean, like they were trying immortality, and at that time, Delos was like the end all organization that was, untouchable, such a high figure. But now we're learning that this other company, Insight, exists and is probably much more well off than Delos, who is just an entertainment company with a failed immortality project. I think it's I think that we may once again go back to immortality as the end all be all project that they're trying, or anybody is trying. But yeah, I think this is a fun step.
Gray, final deep thoughts for you. What do you think about a society that lives forever? You think that's a good society where people don't die? Think that's something that we should strive to achieve, like these people are?
No. I want to meet my maker, so I don't want to live forever. I don't want to live short.
Yeah.
I don't want to die tomorrow. I don't want to get coronavirus. But I don't want to live forever.
Yeah, nobody wants to. What is it? Everybody wants to live forever, but nobody wants to get old. Type deal.
But I did want to add on one thing.
You do whatever you want.
I won't say anything.
No,
else.
you can do. I had a whole existential crisis like 15 minutes ago. You're good.
That app that the guy Caleb was using to get like jobs. It's like, do you want to make money, motherfucker, or whatever? What else could Dolores want fucking money for? If not if not to pay motherfuckers on that app to join her cause.
Damn.
Dresses.
She wants a lot of money, and she doesn't need to eat and shit like that. What she need it for? And she doesn't need to pay. She doesn't need to pay for like a hotel. You see, like she is like, secure me a table, da da da, and like the guy AI just secures her a table. So
she has to exist.
I think she's gonna be on that app splurging.
Yeah,
she's gonna be splurging on that app because another thing that she can use to control people, money. It controls us every day. You get up and you go to your fucking job because you need to make money.
I really love that idea. Holy moly, I love that idea.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us. I know that you got to get going, Gray. And so you're going to do a video on this, and we're going to get our first official standalone Gray Area Westworld?
Yep, I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to write all the details down so I don't miss anything, and I'm going to try to pin everything together. But, like, don't... Honey, I don't always... I'd never get it right, so just enjoy it for what it is.
Likewise, we do our best.
Your content, and because you've been doing American Horror Story, you did Lock and Key.
Lock and Key.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I've really enjoyed. I've known you for some time now, and I've always content because you can always draw people into a story no matter what it is. So I could argue that you could take a whole basket full of turds and make a good video out of it. So that's the true test of a content creator. It's like you make good videos.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Find a bad show and make good videos about a bad show. That's the best. That's the true talent. So no, I'm happy that you joined us, and you're willing to do it, because Westworld's hard to talk about because it comes with all these moral issues, like I got to go talk to a priest tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Johnny,
I think you got another super chat.
Oh, yeah. See, this hacks. I'm sorry. It's a money-making model if I attack your morality. All right. It seems to be working. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does work. It does work. Shade of the evening.
Stream. Sorry.
No, Hacks, you get no debates. I'm just kidding. We got Shade of the Evening with a super chat. Thank you so much. Loving this chat. What are the thoughts about people with mental issues are more monitored, like Caleb, who hates it? Thank you. Yeah, Caleb has like this PTSD. Well, not this PTSD. He has PTSD, and he's seen counseling. He's at the VA for it, and it does seem like they're more closely monitored. I guess they would be considered blanketly. Like a blanket covering of them being a threat to society would be how the rich people see it. I guess that's the only way I could. I think it's going to play out a little more. I don't think that they just brought up that point for no reason.
Did they mention medicine, Johnny? Didn't they ask him if he was taking something, and he said he stopped?
I think it was his program thing that he turned off, that he had actually stopped using. So. We'll see where that goes.
I think they're still using, because we saw that one at the cleanup job was when somebody did too much. I don't know what type of drugs it was, but it was something, right? So some people are still using like medicinal. We don't have cyber drugs yet. Damn it.
They call it that Logan.
Yeah, he's got that. Oh yeah, Logan. It's like, what is that? It's like, it's just regular old heroin. Nothing classy about that. Yeah, he's just getting down and dirty. Dirty birdie. But yeah, final thoughts on it. I thought it was a really, really entertaining first episode. I think there's a lot of times that I'm going to have to play Redditor during my video. And what drugs are they using in the club Caleb went to? I don't know. They had like some weird... I don't know who was doing the verbiage for this script, but it's like, a lot of these names were hard for me to like catch for the
they called it Beta Olympics.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Beta Olympics. Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Yeah.
Just call it Super LSD and move on with your life.
Yeah, call it Space Coke.
They said they gave that guy 50 cc's of concanium. Concanium?
Oh.
I can get with
it.
Yeah, you got to get
I don't
that
know.
C. I don't
I was
know.
confused.
Yeah, that guy, he couldn't go because he had money, so it's like he had special treatment. So, but we do see there's a high.
And shout out to Marshawn Lynch.
Oh yeah, I love that mood shirt.
Yeah, that's a
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's a good part. He's you know, Caleb's got a crew, and you know, that's a nice part. I think is it Brooklyn Nine-Nine is like the segue for Westworld now. Because Kid Cudi was on it too.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. That doesn't seem like the
Exactly.
traditional ladder to get to like Westworld. It's like, what do you do first? Like The Bachelor, then Brooklyn Nine-Nine, then you do an infomercial. Westworld calls you the next day. So yeah, they're casting very high, but no, it works. I like it, man. Hey, you know, the guy's charismatic. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see him as a host. But that probably does require a little bit more acting chops. So one more episode of Brooklyn 999 and you can get that. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody. I can't wait for your video to come out, Hacks, because all jokes aside, you're brilliant. I'm happy to have you. And, you know, God, because you are such a good person. So if I consider you a bad person, then we're all fucked. You know what I mean? No, great guy. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because this has new tech that I want somebody to tell me what it is. You know, because I don't have a chip to put in my brain to get that information yet. So until then, we need you. Johnny, are you going to be doing any videos this week?
Yes, I am. By about midweek, we'll have a Westworld video out. I'll keep you surprised as to what it's going to be about. Oh, it's going to be about the episode we just watched. And Ragnarok's season 1, episode 3 and 4 breakdown will be coming out tomorrow. It's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, that's an interesting show. I suggest you check out Johnny's channel. Johnny's been putting in the work, and Johnny's been writing beautiful scripts. I read the one yesterday, way too long. I was like, holy crap, dude, you really put the work into that one.
Only 30 minutes.
I know. Then I was like, oh, shit. Yeah. No, it's really good. I've been loving it, man, because I know from personal experience that it's really hard to sit down and put your mind to it, especially with a Netflix show or something like that, because it's not like a big money grab, right? It's not like, oh, I'll be tight after this. So yeah, no, I appreciate it. It comes from the heart. It's my Ragnarok video is gonna pay the mortgage. But so yeah, the support to the channel helps a lot. These programs I use cost a large amount of money, and I really like to make money just a little bit and not be in debt for making videos. So you know, I do appreciate the hell out of it. And I want to go to the con this summer. We believe Hacks is going to be going as well. And there's going to be plenty of room in the staircase with me, pal. And we're all going to get stuck in a staircase and have a good time. Gray area that keeps doing good. You'll be hitting that 1 million mark before you know it. And and thank you again for, remember 2 years ago, we did YouTube Confidential 3 times because I forgot to record it. So look how good my production is now.
Yeah, a lot better. It was my shit that was fucked up at the beginning of
Yeah, no, it's good. So thank everybody in the chat so much. Westworld is a far-reaching topic, and it can be a lot of fun. We try to have fun on here, and you can whet your appetite for these geniuses' work that will be coming out later in the week. I can't thank you guys enough. My name's Justin Thomas. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and consider supporting creativity on Patreon. $3 a month helps me exponentially, trust me. But Starbucks coffee is also pretty good, so you should consider going down that route. All right, everybody, we will talk to you next week. We'll have Heidi from Costume Co. here. So all these dresses and the Transformer dress and all that, I'm excited to hear her break that down because I'd like some Transformer clothes, especially for those lawn nights and stairways. Good night, people, and good luck.